All right. Thank you so much for this opportunity and making me the Bada Admi according to the video that was posted. What creativity the club has. I mean, amazing. This is the first time ever that for me to come to this club, and looking at that video, that definitely got me pumped up. I wanted to come to a Zoom meeting right after watching that video. So, but I had to wait for 2 full days to come to this meeting with all of you wonderful people. Before I get started, I would like to acknowledge the presence of the Program Quality Director for District 121, Distinguished Toastmaster Vanita Rangarajan, um, also the club president, as well as every member of the club, and especially all the guests who have come in. And before I get started, I have a question for the guests. What, what all things have you seen us Toastmasters do so far, apart from speaking? What all things have you observed in this meeting? And
Using new
um,
words.
using new words, yes, bang on, definitely. Using new words is certainly something that you will see happening. What else?
Cheering up.
I'm sorry, I could not hear you.
Cheering up.
Cheering
Cheering.
up, yes,
Body
yes.
language and voice modulation.
Body language and voice modulation. Wow, lots of keywords. You guys have been studying for this session, are you? My God.
Time
Okay.
management.
Expression,
Time management, true. Time management is certainly someone else said something.
expression in the face,
Confident.
Expressions in the face. Yes, confidence as well. Great, great. Yeah. All of these are the qualities, all of these are the output of attending Toastmasters meeting. But what we do in every meeting is we come, sometimes we hold up the timers card, sometimes we do the our counters report, sometimes we do a grammarian, sometimes we evaluate someone and deliver feedback to them, and some of the other times we go contesting as well. Just last weekend I was in a contest where I was talking about the idea of India, and for that contest I had to read a couple of books, prepare a speech only for 3 minutes, because I believe there are two types of mindset when it comes to speaking, especially for newcomers. There is a stone mindset and there is a rail mindset. A stone mindset is where you go on the stage, be it virtual, Zoom, Skype, no matter what platform it is, or the actual magical stage, the huge stage. I miss that so much during these lockdown days. But what happens in the stone mindset is you go on the stage, either you have been given a topic, or you have to read out a report, or you have to speak in front of a lot of people, and suddenly all the thoughts freeze. You're not able to think what to say next. You start to think, what will the other people think? Am I doing this nicely? Are my facial expressions good? Are my hand movements good? Is my body language okay? And while all of this is happening in your mind, the words that are coming out are not matching to the thoughts in your mind. That is stone mindset. The rail mindset is you let someone loose on the stage, they start talking, and the poor timer keeps showing, sir, red, blue, everything, sir, please stop. And you can't stop yourself because there are so many thoughts, there are so many things that you want to share with the audience that you get carried away. So those are the two different mindsets. So what Toastmasters does is help you to control these thoughts, put the right kind of words, and find out the real hero of the speech. And because of that, the next question that I have for all of you, guests and members of the club, who or what is the real hero of a speech?
Preparation.
Preparation, says Dinagar. Okay. Anyone else?
Content.
Content, says Ramya. Okay. Anyone else?
The beginning and the conclusion.
Beginning and the conclusion. Okay. Interesting. Anyone else? Any other answers?
Speaker.
Speaker. Okay. All right. Let me give the answer. According to me, the real hero of a speech is the audience. You see, I tell stories to kids over weekend on every Saturday and Sunday. And if I'm telling them Ramayana stories, And if I use the same big words, tell them all the same big emotions, they would not be able to grasp it. Which is why when I tell a story to the kids, it has to be from their point of view. Now, let's take a technical example here. How many of you are technical folk here? Work on logs, analysis, reports, dashboards, APIs, codes. Okay. All right, cool. Now, when you are delivering a report to a senior leadership, would you put a lot of text and code in there, or would you put a lot of data or other visual aspect in it? More visuals?
Data and
So that, yes, more visuals, because you are thinking from your audience's point of view. They don't need all this code. What they need are crisp graphics that can represent what actually happened. In a very similar way, in the world of public speaking as well, when you are writing a speech, first question that you need to ask is, who am I writing for? If I have to teach cybersecurity to all technical folks, and I go and tell them ABCs of computing and then what is security, my audience will lose me in 5 minutes. However, if I'm talking to, let's say, all the doctors and dentists and lawyers and teaching them cybersecurity, then I need to go on basics. So my knowledge, my content remains the same, but my examples, my message would change according to the audience. Now, this is one of the things that you learn in coming to Toastmasters. Well, if I talk about myself, I started my journey in Toastmasters with lots of, I call it stamp on my forehead, a lot of stamps on my forehead. And those were nothing but blockages. Blockages like, leadership is not for me. History is boring. Art is not for me. I am from a technical computer background. With all of these stamps on my forehead, I walked into a Toastmasters meeting being a foodie. So any of you do Zomato reviews or Swiggy reviews? Still do? Why? Because now we are getting home deliveries. So I used to go crazy on Zomato reviews. And which is why I used to try out new restaurants every weekend and post reviews on those restaurants. And similarly, when I got an email, when I was in the Akamai Bangalore Toastmasters Club, just before that, I got an email about something called Toastmasters. So being the foodie that I am, I showed up 10 minutes early, only to find there were no toasters. There were nothing, no equipments at all in the room. So I thought, okay, they might bring it with them. After some people came in, they started to do handshakes. Oh, hi Siksha. And there are so they started to do handshake, and some people went on the stage and they started to speak. And then I thought, oh, this is a different kind of a toast. And on that day, they gave me a topic which said, if you were to go 3,000 miles away from Bangalore, what would you miss the most? And I said, I would miss the Bangalore traffic at Silkboard, because that's when I get to talk to my friends. I call my mother, and I get to catch up with a lot of people on that. And lots of people laughed on that answer. And on that day, for the first time, I came to know that I can make people laugh. And after that, I joined the club and I started to give speech after speech after speech after speech. And during this, there's another concept here. There is something called as writer's block, where when I was starting to write my icebreaker, the first ever speech, it took me 2 weeks to write my icebreaker. And it was never perfect. Either it was too long, it was too short. But in the end, when I did my first 2 speeches, after that, I wanted to speak every week. And while all of this was going on, I delivered speeches on different topics. For example, I gave a speech on Mona Lisa. I started to read about arts for that. Then I delivered a speech about whiskey, and that speech was loved by my club. So I went to 2 to 3 more clubs and gave the same speech over there. And those guys still remember me as the whiskey guy. So the point that I'm trying to make is, you can use this tool as a medium to learn new things, to widen your horizons. Now, the membership in Toastmasters is not very different than your gym membership, because just like in a gym membership, You take the membership on the 1st of January 2020. You go there for a week, and then if you don't go, there would nothing change in your body. However, if you keep going, you would start to look better. You would start to feel fitter. Very similarly, in Toastmasters as well, when you come into the meeting as a guest, you see other people speaking until one fine day, DTM Vanita calls your name on the stage, and let's hear an icebreaker speech from our guest, our new member, Meha. Now, Meha comes on the stage and delivers her icebreaker, and she feels that heartbeat thumping when the speech is done. And after that, she remembers that heartbeat thumping the next week as well. Now, Meha wants to speak again. This is when Meha will contact her mentor and say, hey, what do I speak about next? How do I write my speech better? So this is a journey from unknown to unknown. You may be trying to decipher why is it a journey from unknown to unknown. The journey goes like this. When you walk into Toastmasters, you don't know what you don't know, right? You don't know if you can speak really well. Can you do a humorous speech? How good of a leader are you? There are many aspects. Just like the rainbow behind Dinagar, there are many different colors in our personality that we are not able to see. However, when you deliver your first speech, your second speech, your third speech, you think that I can speak really well. I am the best speaker. You put me anywhere, I can speak. You get that confidence until you go into your first contest. And that's when you see your hands trembling again. After the contest, you feel, okay, I can speak. There are lots of things I still need to learn. So now you know that you still don't know many things. Then you start to work on it until you become a part of the club's executive committee. Those are the 7 people in the club who run the show. So everyone who is in the video right now, whoever is a part of the XCOM, can you please raise your hands? Okay, excellent. So Anita, if you can unmute yourself, and what has been your learning to be a part of the XCOM so far?
Well, Aniket, this is a first time experience for me. What I've learned is I don't have to wait for instructions. I get to decide. Decision making and putting in thought into everything I do is what I've learned so far.
Fantastic, fantastic. Anyone else who would like to share? What did you learn in the XCOM? Vanita, I can see you in the XCOM as well. You are in the XCOM of the district leadership as well as the club leadership.
So one of the key things that I've learned is time management, because you can only do so much in the 24 hours. And so how you prioritize things is my biggest lesson from Toastmasters, and being in the XCOM also tells me that I have to dedicate that time, and it kind of questions my ability to commit to any of the tasks. So that's a big learning for me in being in the XCOM.
Very true. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for sharing your insights and your learning. So when I joined the executive committee for the first time, I was the VP of public relations, started to make posters, and people loved those posters. So I made more posters and started to do more and more creative things. And this creativity kind of grew. And now I said, let me take the next challenge. So I took the Iron Man, the Superman, the Batman, no matter what superhero you put. The superhero role in the executive committee is undoubtedly VP of education, because VP education has to take care of the entire club, handle the mentoring, handle the club agenda, handle the club contest, give updates to the DCP, lots of things. And as Vanita said, when you have so many things on your plate, this is really when you get to prioritize and you learn, and all at no cost. In the corporate world, I think that's a big word. Because let's say tomorrow I go and start an initiative in my company, in my professional capacity. If that initiative goes really well, nothing like it, I will get lots of recognition. However, if that initiative doesn't work well, that is something which is like a red dot on my CV or on my credentials. In Toastmasters, you get to experiment things. Being a part of the club, you may suggest that, hey, why don't we do a reverse meeting tomorrow in the next meeting? Hey, why don't we do a joint meeting with the next club? So there are lots of things that you can try and experience and then learn from it. As I was saying, it's a journey from unknown to unknown. So when you go into the contest, you still know that, okay, you have a lot of things to learn. That is when you become a part of the XCOM and you start to practice many things, and you get to learn that you still don't know many things that you can do. Because when Vanita spoke about multitasking or time management, for a lot of people, that aspect of learning comes when you have 15 years of experience. When you are, let's say, a senior manager or a director, and you have so many meetings on your calendar, you need to choose which meeting do you want to attend and how are you spending your time on that meeting. However, you are getting to learn that right now. This is why the learnings that you have through Toastmasters are expedited. When it comes to the learning for the leadership as well as the communication. So during this time, I would like to see if the guests have any questions in their minds. I would like to take some of the questions if it's okay now. Okay, cool. Looks like no questions so far from any of the guests. Okay, so the next thing that I would like to share with all of you is consider it like a tip, because all of you have been in the meeting, you have been in the Toastmasters meeting. So what is that one key takeaway that you take out of this meeting, right? Because all of us are investing this time, this 2 hours of your time in this meeting. So there is one tip that I learned from a world champion of public speaking. And what he said is, when you are about to start speaking, be it in your team meeting, because public speaking, many people have this idea that public speaking means you are somebody standing on the stage, hundreds or thousands of people in front of you, you are speaking, that is public speaking. Well, actually, it is not like that. When you are having a one-on-one with your manager and you are speaking about the work that you have done, you are speaking. That is public speaking. When you are speaking with your family, your friends, expressing your opinion, be it is for or against the current topic, this is another time when you are actually doing public speaking. At that time, if you are able to put your thoughts clearly, this is the time which will show up if you are an effective communicator or not. So the tip that I was talking about is, whenever you are about to speak in a team meeting or in a conference call or just before your speech, there are two ways of starting it. One is, hey, thank you so much for calling me on the stage. Great that you called me, and let's get started. But there's another way of starting, and that goes like, don't say anything. Listen to your heartbeats. Listen to the heartbeats 3 times. Just stand, look into the camera, heartbeat 1, heartbeat 2, heartbeat 3, and then you start speaking. Now, why are we doing this? Imagine someone like me, while the camera is off, I'm looking at this and now no one is speaking. What's happening? Hey, something wrong? Am I disconnected? Oh, okay. All right. So you get the audience connection immediately. Just like in the world of computer networking, in the TCP/IP, you first make a connection, then you share the message. Very similarly, in the world of public speaking as well, you first need to connect with the audience and then you share your message. The message could be, please listen to me. The message could be, we need 2 more people in my team. The message could be, this project is going to be delayed, I need 2 more weeks. Or the message could simply as simple be, hey, we are going to have a Toastmasters meeting and a Bada Admi is coming. Will you come and attend the meeting? So, which is why, my dear friends, speaking is all about sharing a message. And this technique will help you to share that message. Now, I'm sure the members of the club have been delivering a lot of speeches so far. Do the members have any questions? This may not be joining Toastmasters because you already are members, but about writing your speeches, delivering your speeches online, or anything about that. I can take up one of those questions as well.
I have a question, Aniket. This is Anita.
Sure, sure.
So you spoke about making a connect with the audience before you talk.
Yeah.
So, well, while that is a very good strategy, and something that one has to do before they venture on speaking out, sometimes it becomes it does not happen. So you would have planned something, but you may miss out the point. So how do
Yeah.
you tackle such thing, and how do you get back your audience's attention?
Sure. Excellent question. When you are in the middle of the speech and you see that your audience is getting disconnected and you are losing the audience, how do you get the connection back? At that time, in Windows terms, we restart the Windows server, right? A lot of times, and then you get everything working. The golden fix for Windows servers. Very similarly, what you can do is just take a pause, let the audience come back, and then you get started. That's the first strategy. Second strategy is you can call people out in the audience as well. So before I get started, I would like to check with Vanita if everything is good. Do you have any questions? And suddenly, as Vanita hears her name, she will be active. But as I'm getting her name, everyone else will think, oh, I could be next. Okay, what's happening? Let me see. This seems interesting. So this is another way, but this is an interactive way of connecting with the audience. Another way of connecting back with the audience is building a secret. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to show you, I haven't said in any other club. This is exclusively only for you. So I would like all of you to pay a lot of attention here. Can you say yes if I have your attention, please? So you ask the audience to interact with you, give you a thumbs up, or just say type something in the chat. So the more you engage the audience, the more the connection continues. The concept continues. The same concept applies not just for the adult audience, but for the kids as well. So this is one way of maintaining that connect with the audience. And there is, especially when it comes to delivering the message. So I've read this book. It's called as Find Your Why by Simon Sinek. Do any of you read Simon Sinek, or have you read any of his books? Oh, Vanita has. Cool. So Simon Sinek, this entire book is about finding the why behind everything. So recently I heard one of our district leaders, he has been in Toastmasters for 18 years. And he said, why do I still come back after 18 years? I can do good public speaking. He has performed almost all the roles. So I'm okay in leadership as well. So why do I keep coming back? So for him, the why is because he gets to learn new things. He gets to keep himself updated. How are people learning now? Because in the Zoom world, now you no longer have the kind of rules that you had in the physical meeting. So the things have changed. And I'm sure Vanita knows who I'm speaking about, distinguished Toastmaster Rajkumar Bansal. And so that is his why. My why of coming to Toastmasters is because I get to know many things that I don't know about myself. I didn't know that I could speak about idea of India for 3 minutes. I didn't know that I would one day lead 24 clubs in and around Electronic City, with 3 more clubs being added within those 24. I did not know that I would be able to teach public speaking to my daughter as well as tell stories to kids. So there are many things that I did not know about myself, but through the prism of Toastmasters, I was able to know that. Now that's my why. What is your why? My humble request to each and every guest here, before you take the decision of whether you want to, you don't want to, maybe you will consider joining Toastmasters, is understand what is your why. If you look at your overall skill set, are you good in public speaking? Are you good in leadership? If you are, if there is something that you want to learn in leadership, what aspect of Toastmasters fits into it? And if you see that joining Toastmasters is in sync with your goal, only then I think you should go ahead and make that decision. Because I firmly believe, and I would like to repeat this, I firmly believe that everything you do should be in sync with your end goal. So if I want to be a professional speaker, but I am not doing professional speaking, in that case, whatever I'm doing is not in sync with my goal. If you want to be a pro chess champion, but you are not playing chess more often, you're only playing it on weekends, that's not going to happen. We become what we do consistently. And that brings me to a beautiful quote or a small poem that I found from Mahatma Gandhi. He said, "Your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits, and your habits become your values. And my dear friends, your values become your destiny." So destiny is a big word, but the only way to get it is start doing a small step about towards that destiny, which is why uh, the question that each and every guest here who has given their 2 hours in this meeting should ask themselves, what is my why? Why did you join this meeting? What is it that you want to improve on? And if you feel that this platform, which has been existing for more than 90 years, has outlived a lot of recessions, has outlived the coronavirus pandemic itself, and yet here we are, 20 of us in this Zoom meeting and more than 600,000 members of Toastmasters all over the world. Here, all the members are getting their own values. Some of them come to learn public speaking. Some of them come to learn leadership. Some come to practice leadership, or some only come to listen to good thoughts. Because in the world of negativity out on the streets during the lockdown, this is one place that you will find there is certainly positive thoughts being shared. So remember the Radha on the holy day. And with that picture, I would like to leave you with the question of what is your why? Thank you. Back to you, MOC.
Thank you, Aniket. The talk was enlightening, engrossing, and entertaining all at once. I totally enjoyed, and I've in fact made notes of everything that you have told. I'm definitely going to read that book you have suggested. Thank you so much. Now we have some time for question and answers. If any of us have questions to Aniket or any of the members of IBC Titans, now is the time. We could either ask it right away, you could unmute yourselves and ask the question, or you could post your questions on the chat box. While we wait for the questions, Vanita, perhaps we could post the poll for the to identify the contest winners.
I would request to leave me out. I was not planning to contest, but if possible, please remove my name. I would like the guests to compete for this.
Okay. One more announcement. Our club also has a Slack channel, so all Oracle employees can access it directly. So in case you have questions or you want to join any of our meetings, all information will be posted on the Slack channel. I request you all to join it and join our meetings. Okay, if there are no questions, I would now like to call upon the president of our club, Toastmaster Krishna, to do the recognitions and for his closing remarks. Over to you, Krishna.
Yeah, I have one question. I have it.
Yes, Sonal, please.
Yeah. So, Aniket, my question is like you gave tip, right? Before starting of any speech, don't say anything, right? So, my question in that, like, what in case if we can't see person, right, on other end, and what is your tip for like remote working, because we are not connected and we'll not be seeing each other. So in that case.
Sure. I think the tip still applies because the intention or the why behind that tip was to make an instant connection with the audience. So when it is your turn to speak, well, In a Zoom meeting, that is certainly applicable. In a phone meeting where they can't see you, in that case, this is the first time you need to confirm that you are audible. Otherwise, they would think that you are not able to speak, or you are on mute, or there is some connection issue. So that is specifically when you are on the stage, be it on a virtual stage or in front of the audience where they can see you. So they know that you can speak, but you're not, because you're waiting for that moment and then you're starting. So it is a context driven tip. Sonal, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, Aniket. And one more question I have it, like, in case if we are meeting somebody first time
Mm-hmm.
and they are very high in the sense scale level, or you can say maybe official, right? So
Yeah.
in that case, we can't do in this way, right? We have to greet them.
But okay, when you are saying in this way, if you're talking about the 3 heartbeats, like I said, it's all context driven. So if you're meeting somebody one on one and the person is in front of you and they are expecting you to speak, but then you're not speaking for 3 seconds, maybe that might not work. For that, I would like to give you a different tip. A different tip would be the icebreaker that we have, the icebreaker speech that you deliver in Toastmasters. Use some of the pointers from that, because if you're meeting somebody who is a senior for the first time, a lot of times what really helps is to break the shackles of the designations and connect on a person to person basis. So when you are introducing yourself, if you are not just saying that, okay, I am an analyst in XYZ and I'm doing this, but if you also say that I'm a passionate public speaker and I give speeches on the weekends and I do this and I do that, for all you know, that person would remember that one point 2 months later, let's say 2 weeks later, and remember, hey, you give speeches on the weekend, right? Yeah, okay. So that some of the times, this is the point which also sticks, the sticky factor. But the main point there being person to person connection.
Yeah, Aniket, that's fine. But many
Thank you.
time they don't like it, what I feel, because what I observed.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you are telling for the in current scenario or the new, but many are having a different mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll not like it if we'll behave in this way, right? Especially in
Well,
official environment, yeah.
Well, this is really where the dynamicness of a person comes into picture, because you behave different with different people, and it's always an adaptive nature here, where if you decide that you only have one communication style with everyone, that may not work, which is why in the level 2, and I would like to bring the attention of all the guests on this specific section here, in the level 2 of Toastmasters, there is a project dedicated to identifying your communication skill, identifying your leadership skill, as well as mentoring. The reason they have done that is, depending on the situation you're facing, you should be able to pick up your speaking style, adapt to the situation, and then do it accordingly. I hope that answers your question and any further questions as well.
Yeah, Aniket, I'll connect you offline. So because
Okay,
I'll be meeting them first time, right? So I'll not be knowing their.
sure, sure.
Okay, I'll
I
connect
would
you
be
offline.
more than
That's fine.
happy to
Thank you.
connect with you offline on this.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.